this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
No.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings. You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Yeah.
All right.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Well, we got a lot to show you this time, but we're going to head on in. Show us what you got.
Haven't really got anything fresh or new this week. I basically reached back into stuff that's been sitting on the
Backlog
shelf.
week.
Yes. Backlog week, definitely. But there's some fun stuff to be had nonetheless. Mostly it's Blu-ray, but I will kick off with one DVD. And this is, I believe, a Richard Curtis film. Yes. And it's a fun movie that I have enjoyed, and I got a copy at the library. It was really cheap, and it's worth looking at. And it's a movie called About Time.
Yay!
And, of course, this stars Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson, who are always pretty awesome. And Bill Nighy plays Gleeson's father. And I had totally forgotten Margot Robbie was in this. This must have been one of her first movies. First American films, anyway.
So Harley Quinn herself.
Exactly. But at any rate, this one does feature a superpower of sorts. This one has a sort of a thematic similarity with Kimagure Orange Road, in that it's basically a romance in which superpowers are incidental to the plot. But basically, Gleeson and Nighy are part of a family who only the men in the family have this ability. They have the ability to send their conscience back in time. And the father has been using that ability for years, specifically so that he can read all the books he wants to read. Which I'll admit, for someone like us that has constant backlog, that would be a cool power to have. And I would probably use it the same way.
I've been watching all
It's a moderately entertaining film, worth getting, and worth the price I paid, which was not much.
And playing video games. I'd be doing that too.
Yes. Think about how many you could actually clear this entire level. Yes.
So this next one was one that was recommended to us by a friend of the channel, Dan from Rebel Gaming Club. He was talking about one specific film out of a trilogy, and then posted a link to a eBay thing that was snatched up before we even were able to do it. I thought to myself, maybe he posted it because he was planning on getting it, so I held off. And then Dave was like, I don't have the money, and then somebody just... But I made an offer on another one, a fairly lowball offer, and they actually agreed. And I got the Turnbridge trilogy. I had never heard of this before. He had mentioned it. Because I think it's a local Vermont thing.
Really?
And it says Vermont in a box. I mean, had you heard about these before?
I had not, no.
So, I mean, of course, the first in the trilogy was Vermont is for Lovers. And I'll drop it. This one is the only one that was opened in this set. So, and then the one that Dan had recommended, Man with a Plan. So, there it is. It's Fred Tuttle. I spent my whole life in a barn, Now I just want to spend a little time in the house. So, then the last in the trilogy, Nosy Parker, which is kind of a romantic one here. I was glad that I could look up all these on IMDb.
Right.
They don't have much picture-wise, and they're hard to find anything about, so it's kind of cool to have it. So, you know, I'll have to review these eventually once I get to watching them.
Right.
I've got like 3 reviews I've got to film. I filmed them, but I feel like I did a crap job, so I'm going to be refilming them one at a time, utilizing the script that I wrote and just down. And actually, at least one of those is going to be in my pants. So, pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah. I've seen that little... I didn't pay close attention. I should look into that myself. Anyway, like I said, most of these are Blu-rays, and they simply were backlog Blu-rays. And one thing that several of them have in common, as a matter of fact, is that they are upgrades from DVD.
Ding!
And I'm going to go ahead and lead off with one that I've presented on this channel. I still haven't watched that copy, but I had a second, and it was a library pickup, but then I had a chance to get it on Blu-ray, and I'm like, there's no reason not to upgrade. And that is the movie Wanted, which, since I've presented it before, I won't go too much into it again. Oscar-nominated film with James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie, Terrence Stamp, Thomas Kretschmann, Common, and Morgan Freeman. That's a hella cast.
Oh.
Based on a comic, if I remember correctly. It's supposed to be really good.
I actually have the DVD.
That's the version I did have. This is the version I now
It's
have.
just like sitting there because I haven't watched it. It's just been sitting there.
Yep.
So, I think I got it for $1. But so this one is one that I have done a review for, and will probably be the second one to air after Death Toilet. But I'm not going to do that yet because I need to back it up. So I'm going to want you to talk about your next one before. So I'm going to skip ahead to one I've been watching to get my 2019 stuff done, and that is Spider-Man Far From Home. I got this
essential
during Black Friday for $10. Actually, less than $10, and it's nice to actually have it.
Yep.
I mean, it finishes off Phase 4. And I was kind of debating. I wasn't certain how I would like it, because I like Mysterio as a character, and I was like, the way they make him look in the titles doesn't look like Mysterio at all. And thank goodness they actually did a good job with the character. I was quite happy with how they did it, and I can now see why people are going, well, with that ending, I hate to see them drop Spider-Man after that, and that's true. I am curious how this is going to be. They have good chemistry, all of them together as a cast. They all work together well.
Well, they are working on the next one, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and the short Peter's to-do list is fun as well.
Okay.
So, I really like this one.
Good deal.
Though, there was one thing I wanted to add. You might actually get to understand this and relate to it. It has, when you enhance this so much, it has that TV movie quality look to it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how is it supposed to look like something cheaper? It's not supposed to.
That's the problem with your high-def TV. I mean, it's like, yeah. It's one reason I guess I'm glad I don't have one for now, although I would like an upgrade from the TV I do have. Anyway, my next one I'm about 95% certain is an upgrade. Oh, actually, let's say 100%, because I know I have this one somewhere on DVD. This is an older one, and I don't know how this will look on Blu-ray, but I'm curious. It's a classic film from Alan J. Pakula, written by William Goldman, called All the President's Men. Got Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, Martin Balsam, Hal Holbrook, Jason Robards. I mean, come on, with that cast, I mean, even if it wasn't and Jack Warden, I forgot he was in there. This is, of course, based on the book by Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward, and these two play, Bernstein and Woodward. It's pretty much, for those of you who don't know, it's about Watergate and that whole big thing, and it is a classic 70s film, and very happy to have it upgraded.
I've almost found it.
What's up?
I actually was looking in the wrong place.
Not to mention, this is a 2-disc special edition, and I think the original copy I had was a basic flipper, so I know it's an upgrade, even just in terms of special content.
And of course,
What's up?
I actually leave the one thing I was doing. I took it down, and now, where did I put it? I'll put it over here.
All right.
Yes. I had a presentation planned, and I forgot to pull this stuff.
Well, that was silly of you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's just silly.
Yes.
On with the program. So, there, I was watching something that Anime Abandon was doing, and they were covering this show, and he usually tries to talk about a studio or some sort of thing, and there was a studio called AN Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
They started as an anime seller and decided they were going to get into publishing their own stuff, like Right Stuff does, some of the others. So they decided that they were going to go with one particular title when they started, Risky Safety, or what was it, Omishi Magical Theater. So of course you can see this, and I don't even think I've presented this one before, but you can see these. So, it's a cute little series that a woman has like this little devil / angel on her shoulder. I don't know if have you seen this one?
I have not.
I hadn't even heard of this one, and I saw it like I think this one. This is Second and Charles. It was fairly cheap, so I said, "Oh, check it out." And of course, one that they were most famous for was this one here, Hare plus Goop, which is a really good series. It reminds me a lot of the style that Kodacha has. Let's see here. This is 2,425 out of 5,000. So that's kind of cool. And then they ended it with Hare plus Good Deluxe. Unfortunately, they did not publish the final series that ended this. But because they realized that apparently we're not fit for the publishing business. But there was one more I'm missing. And now I finally have it. And that is a series called Miami Guns. Now, when Sage did the presentation on this as a extremely bad series that tried to be a mix of Excel Saga and You're Under Arrest, I said, I don't care how bad it is. Usually he and, Nostalgia Critic tend to amplify the bad up anyway.
Right.
Because views. I understand that. Most of the time, oddly enough, when they make fun of a film, I want to buy it. So I had to do this because this actually completes. With these all together, this is all that An America, or was it An America? No, An Entertainment released. This is all they released. So I have the entire catalog that they had. This one...
I guess it's unsurprising that they flamed out, huh?
Yeah, not really great titles here. I mean, the first one was, Risky Safety. Nobody knows that. So probably flopped because nobody heard of it. Then this one, which is it's okay. It's not a bad series. I don't agree with him on that. It's not a terrible series. It's watchable. But it's not good either.
Is it Excel Saga meets You Under Arrest?
It tries to be. And it does have some fun things. It does have some redeemable qualities. And if you are an anime enthusiast, you should probably at least try and give it a one-time go. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Did you see You're Under Arrest, No Mercy? That series that... it was like a one-episode spin-off.
No, I don't think I saw that.
It wasn't released in the United States.
Then I probably didn't.
Okay, it's a one-episode spin-off where the two main characters go to America. and decide to do a police exchange. And there are all these violent American versions of all the other characters. And they give her like a real shotgun instead of the sandbag one. They're just like constantly doing shootouts in the streets because, you know, all Americans do that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of in that vein where they're in Miami City. And they have this evil organization called the Organization. And you've got her, which is Excel, except extremely annoying. More annoying. And less redeemable as a character.
Does she talk as much?
Not as much. But she's less likable. She's not as much as was said on Sage's channel. She's not. I don't hate her, but I don't like her either. And then the Snabiki type, which doesn't really fall to full type because she actually does give a damn about her partner, but she does have a couple of those little quirks that kind of make her like that. And it's like I say, it's a fun series. It was worth the $30 I paid for this because you know they're badly out of print, and that was actually a low ball on what the series is actually worth. So. Not so bad. It's 13 episodes. That's some good old-fashioned anime fun, and it helps complete the release of some anime history.
Okay. That's a hell of a lot more than I paid for this entire stack. So my next one up is actually a very stylish film that I enjoyed a fair bit. I'm not usually big on post-apocalyptic stuff. The overall idea kind of depresses me, and oftentimes the films kind of bore me. But like I said, this was a very stylish film that had some very solid acting, and I thought it was a little bit underrated when it came out. And that was the film The Book of Eli.
I thought you were going to pull Delicatessen.
Features Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, Mila Kunis, Francis De La Torre, and Michael Gambon. Music by Atticus Ross. That's some pretty intriguing information there. And like I said, this is a pretty good one. Denzel's always awesome. Gary Oldman is a, quote, as it says on the back here, menacing warlord. Of course, Oldman is one of those actors who could take any role and nail it. So, and I still say Kunis is an underrated actress. She should get a lot more buzz than she does, and Michael Gambon's always awesome. I enjoyed this first time I saw it. I've been kind of putting off getting it for the collection, but here it is.
Well, my next one is going to be something I saw when I was watching Into Darkness, which I revealed last week. And it was just a supposedly classic horror that I'd never heard of before, but was very intriguing in its copy, and I managed to find a copy for $5. So I had to get it, and that is the Dennis Christopher film, Fade to Black.
Alright.
Have you heard about this one?
I've heard about it.
Essentially, this is about a guy who's a serial killer, and he likes to dress up as classic movie monsters to do the killing. I find that concept really cool as a slasher. I will have to see this sooner than later.
Didn't they do that exact same concept in
I don't know.
I feel like there was that one character who was dressing up in makeup to kill people.
We'll say this. This predates it.
Yeah.
So, I am very eager to see this. I mean, it's 80s horror, and 80s horror is fun. I love most 80s horror.
Good deal. Yeah, that probably predates to... So, the next one is not a great film. In fact, it's debatable whether it's a very good film. But I found it tolerable, and I love the cast, and I like the price, which was basically $1. And that's the movie He's Just Not That Into You. Just supposedly a romantic comedy with a hell of a cast. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Connelly, Kevin Connelly, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Goodwin, Scarlett Johansson, and Justin Long. I mean...
I fucking hate that movie!
Oh, wow. Was that the Taming of the Shrew one?
I have no idea.
Based off a book.
It's based on a book, yes. Yeah, like I said, as you heard from the Peanut Gallery, it's not the most popular film, but like I said, whatever. It's worth having, if only to have another credit for Scarlett Johansson.
Well, I have a movie that is of note, and one that Amazon also had on its, oh, we're just going to put the DVD up. And that is the film, newly minted Oscar-winning film, Judy.
Oh.
I found a copy for $10 off of eBay.
Nice.
New.
Nice.
And we just watched this.
Yep.
And I probably won't watch it again anytime soon, but it does have sparkly letters on it.
Yeah.
And it was a good film. It was a hard film to watch, because it was about the last year in the life of Judy Garland. And that's that's rough to watch under any circumstance. But was very well acted. I think she did deserve at least the nod.
She definitely deserved the nomination.
Even if not the award, she definitely deserved the nod.
Yeah.
So I don't feel too bad about it. This is one of those years for the most part, other than Brad Pitt's win. I actually was pretty okay with the Oscar wins.
I wasn't crazy about Laura Dern's win either, but for slightly different reasons.
But if you want to hear more about our interest in that, you should check out last week's video we did, the last of our Oscar videos. But this was a fun movie. If you haven't watched it, you should.
Well, as you said, fun is a debatable word in certain parts of the film, but for the most part, yes. And it did have some definite fun to it as well. My next one is a film that had some very, very, very loyal and rabid fans, most of whom probably enjoyed this for very different reasons than I possibly ever would. I actually am hesitant to watch this movie, but it's a Steven Soderbergh film, so I know it's at least well made, and supposedly is a good film. But I will forever associate this with the legion of drunk middle-aged housewives that I know went to see both this and the sequel. And that is the film Magic Mike. I was working in the theater when the sequel came out, and yes, there were a lot of middle-aged housewives that came in to get drunk and watch that movie. But it's a Steven Soderbergh directed film with Matthew McConaughey, Channing Tatum, Olivia Munn, some other folks that are, moderate renown. It's probably not going to be that bad. It probably won't be my cup of tea, but it will be worth a watch, and it will be worth having in the collection.
Well, I've got one more. Wait, two more. Oh boy, about to do last time. Just like, oh, and wait, no. We got.
You're just in a hurry tonight.
So, we've talked about it on the up and down about the concept of fan-released films. When the maker of the film either says, you know what, heck with physical media, we're never going to release it, or we're never going to localize it and license it for American release. Now, I know you were kind of against those types of fan film things. I'm more for them. Because you're like, any type of bootlegging is bad regardless.
Bullying is bad, okay? Well, no, I mean, I feel like it's a disservice to the fans and to yourself if you say we will block physical release of something. If that's the only way it's ever coming out, but...
Well, that's one of the things I've got for this. It's a film called Sweet Home. This was the inspiration. I can't remember whether the game came first or the movie came first, but this was the inspiration to the entirety of the Resident Evil series. So, to me, this is a must. So would the game be, And I've got a copy of the game. Also, by the way, never got localized here on my system that has games on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horror RPG was the game. So this one's a typical haunted house movie, Japanese. So I'm very curious. I want to see this. It's been on my list for a long time, and I finally found a fan copy that was well made, supposedly, and looked pretty decent.
Good deal. Alright, my last one is another upgrade. And this was actually one that I got the best of prices for. Free.
Yay! Free.
Actually, strangely enough, this was one my brother got and watched, and it's like, I don't really want that after all, so he gave it to me. And strangely enough, this is the same brother that just took my extra copy of Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, really, dude? You sure you want to? But anyway, this is a film that I have not watched since the whole Kevin Spacey scandal started, but I still think, given the role he plays in the film, that probably won't be too big a knock against it. It's the first film he won an Oscar for, and one of the best he ever did, The Usual Suspects.
Ah, yes.
Which is, of course, Bryan Singer, another controversial figure at this point. All kinds of lovely. Then you have other folks in there too: Pete Postlethwaite, Kevin Pollak, Stephen Baldwin, Gabriel Byrne, Chaz Palminteri, written by Christopher McQuarrie. This is one of the great criminal films out there. I guess it's appropriate that's by a guy that people are calling a criminal.
I got the older release.
Yeah. Both pretty basic, bare bones release, I believe. This one looks like it is. But it's going to be shinier and prettier now that it's on Blu-ray. And if you've never seen this before, this is one of the ultimate final act twist movies. It really is one of the best ones for that. And some people are like, I saw that coming a mile away. The movie sucks. I'm like, I don't care as long as you earn the twist. And I think this one does. It really... And the film became a heavy spoofed film because it was so instrumental to 90s cinema. And like I said, it got Spacey his first Oscar for playing Verbal Kint, supposedly. Yeah.
I remember in college, somebody, it might even have been you, was talking that movie up big time. Like it was one of the best movies ever. And I can't remember.
I can't
Was
remember.
That you?
It might have been, but I can't remember when I was introduced to the film. It probably would have been late in my college career, probably 01 or 02.
I could not tell. I visited a lot during that time.
I know. I cannot remember exactly, to be honest. It was in that time frame. I know it was one that I know it was before my senior year, and that's all I remember.
I know you were into a Kevin Spacey movie that I really don't like during that time.
American Beauty? I still need to see that. I don't know if it... That's one that probably will not look the same now.
I've got my beaten up DVD copy that I've watched more times than I could ever have wanted to for a film I hate.
And you'll have to watch it again when it comes out on the Criterion Collection.
Though I will say this, I never have to worry about it coming up on the Second Chance month because I have watched it many, many times.
Right.
So I give it many, many chances.
Right.
So with that being said, I hope you all enjoy.
Yep.
And of course, tonight, you need to be in your seats because his birthday episode is gonna be right off the wall. Oh, wait, yesterday night, because this is Wednesday when this comes out, you need to watch Inside Movies Galore, where we cover Sullivan's Travels.
I don't know what you were talking about.
And Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes.
So, stay tuned.
Indeed.
Or go directly to the channel afterwards. Sorry, yeah. Go watch it. I'm sure it's good.
Right.
Or it's really bad. But either way, have a good one.